In this session, we're going to be looking at the fundamental basics of Blender's edit system. 3D programs will use one thing where you'll click on anything and edit that thing, but in Blender, you'll basically be jumping between different modes so you can edit things separately. So in this case, let's create an object, for example. So let's say just another sphere. I'm gonna add that up a bit. Yeah, looks good. And then move that across, just so we can see those two things. All right. So the object mode is basically where everything is. So you have this up here if you want to edit the light and the camera. So you imagine this as your scene, and you can edit objects separately. Now, when you have an object selected, you can go to edit mode, or you can press tab. So tab in, tab out to go to these two things. So if you want to edit an object, for example, going into edit mode, selecting these and going over these basic editing tools, which we'll cover in another video, is where it's at. In this case, we have vertex, we have edge, and we have face. Object mode, for example, you don't have access to any of those very basic tools in object because you're looking at the overall scene. If you're editing an object and you want to have access to the vertices behind, then you have to use this tool. Visibility, see-through, transparency, whatever you like. And then you have different modes, of course, up here. So for example, here I can select all of those vertices, but if I do this and rotate, then they are not selected, for example. So just keep that in mind when editing. Pressing tab, go back to this. So say, for example, I just want to add the square, but I want to also edit the sphere in one thing without having to jump between the two. By pressing Shift and multi-selecting, tab to multi-edit, you have the ability to do that. Once again, go to see-through, and then we have those. So that's basically the object and edit modes in Blender. As you can see, they are very, very powerful. Getting used to the two modes is basically critical in regards to using Blender.